Hi, my name's Janelle and welcome back to Rosery Apparel. In this video, I'm going to be sharing some 30-minute sewing projects. I haven't shared a sewing projects video like this one in such a long time. I think it's pretty safe to say I have completely exhausted the 10-minute sewing projects category. So instead, in this video, I'm going to be sharing some beginner-friendly projects that you can make in under half an hour. So let's get into it. Let's start with what I'm calling a laptop case, but you could honestly use for anything. For this project, you'll need a main and lining fabric as well as a contrasting fabric. You'll also need some type of wadding to create some structure and padding. I'm just using some felt for mine, and a 35cm or 14-inch zip. Place your laptop onto your wadding. My laptop is a 13-inch MacBook for reference, and cut out two pieces that are approximately 2.5cm or an inch bigger than the laptop itself. Then cut out two pieces of your main fabric that are the same size, and then two of the lining fabric as well. So you should now have two rectangles of each material that are the same size. We're also going to be making a pocket on the front, and for this, cut out a rectangle that is the same width as the other rectangles we just cut out by however big you'd like your pocket to be. I made mine 17cm or 6.5 inches. So for my laptop case, here are the dimensions I cut out. Start by taking the pocket rectangle and fold and press the top edge in by about 1cm or half an inch twice. Then stitch the folded edge in place. Next, place the main fabric onto the felt with the right side of the fabric facing up. And with right sides together, place the zip along the top edge of the main fabric. And then place the lining fabric on top, making sure that the right sides of the main and lining fabrics are facing. Pin all of the layers together, sandwiching the zip in between the layers of fabric. Then stitch the zip and the fabrics together. Once stitched, half of the zip should be nicely enclosed in between the layers of fabric. Then simply repeat this for the other side of the zip and the remaining rectangles of fabric. And you should now have something that looks like this. Next, place the pocket piece we made earlier onto one of the main fabric rectangles, and then open the zip slightly and fold the other main fabric rectangle with the felt layer on top, also flipping the linings together. Stitch the layers together, leaving an opening at the top of the lining like this. Trim away the excess fabric, and then using the opening in the lining, turn the laptop case right side out. Use something like a knitting needle to poke out the corners. Until you have something that looks like this. Give the case a good press. And then stitch along the top edge of the lining like this. Then simply tuck the lining inside and your laptop case is complete. Next, let me show you how to make this fully lined tote bag. For this project, I'm using a recycled tablecloth, but any mid to heavyweight fabric will work fine. Start by cutting out two rectangles that are approximately 45cm or 8 inches by 50cm or 20 inches, and a smaller rectangle that's approximately 45cm or 18 inches by 30cm or 12 inches. Then cut out 2 more rectangles that are approximately 80 centimeters or 31.5 inches by 10 centimeters or 4 inches. So you should now have the following pieces. Take the longer rectangles and fold and press each long edge in by about 1 centimeter or half an inch, and then fold and press the rectangle in half. Stitch along both sides of the rectangle. These are going to be the straps of the bag. Next, take the smaller rectangle and fold and press the top edge in by about 1 centimeter or half an inch twice. Then stitch the folded edge in place. This will be a pocket for the front of the bag. Place the pocket onto one of the larger rectangles, lining up the raw edges together. Then, with right sides together, place the other large rectangle on top, sandwiching the pocket in place. Stitch all of the layers together, leaving the top open like this. Trim away the excess fabric, and then fold the bottom corners into a point and then pin and stitch approximately 5 centimeters or 2 inches from the corner point. Trim away the excess fabric at the point, and then turn the bag right side out. This step creates a fold at the bottom of the bag to make it a little bit roomier and to be able to carry bulkier items. Give the bag a good press, and it should now be looking a little something like this. Next, fold and press the top edge of the bag in by about 1 centimeter or half an inch. Then pin the straps into the folded edge, making sure they're positioned the same distance away from the edge of the bag. Stitch the folded edge in place, securing the straps as you sew. Now at this point you have a fully functioning tote bag, but let me quickly show you how to also add a lining. Start by cutting out 2 rectangles that are the same size as the bag rectangles in a lining fabric. I'm using a contrasting fabric that is also salvaged from an old tablecloth. I'm also going to be adding an interior pocket, and for this I cut out a 20 by 20 centimeter or an 8 by 8 inch square of fabric. Take the pocket piece and fold and stitch the top edge in by about 1 centimeter or half an inch twice. Then do the same for the remaining edges, but don't stitch them just yet. Take one of the lining rectangles and place the pocket onto it. Then stitch the pocket in place along 3 of the edges like this. Then simply stitch up the lining as we did for the main bag. Now, with wrong sides together, place the lining inside the bag and then pin the lining to the bag along the top edge, matching the side seams together. Top stitch along the top edge of the bag, stitching the lining in place as you sew. And your lovely, fully lined tote bag is complete. Next, let me show you how to make a ruffled cushion cover. For this project, you'll need a 40cm or 15.5 inch zip and about 3/4 of a meter or 3/4 of a yard of fabric. Cut out one 40 by 40cm or 15.5 by 15.5 inch square, one 30 by 40cm or 12 by 15.5 inch rectangle, and one 15 by 40cm or 6 by 15.5 inch rectangle. For the ruffle, also cut out one 15cm by 4 meter or 6 inch by 4 yard rectangle. It's absolutely fine to cut out the ruffle in multiple pieces and then stitch them together to make the 4 meter length of fabric. So all up, you should have the following pieces. Take the larger rectangle and press one of the longer edges in by about 1 centimeter or half an inch. Then with the right side of the zip and the fabric facing up, place the folded edge up against the teeth of the zip. Pin the fabric in place, making sure that the zip can still open up properly. Next, stitch the zip in place by lining your zipper foot along the teeth of the zip. When you get to the zip slider, simply place your needle down into your fabric, turn your fabric slightly, and zip the zipper shut to get it out of the way so that you can continue sewing easily. And your zip should now be nicely attached to your fabric like this. Next, take the smaller rectangle and this time press one of the longer edges in by about 2.5 centimeters or 1 inch. Then with the right side of the zip and the fabric facing down, place the zip onto the folded fabric. Pin in place, making sure the folded edge covers up the zip like this. Then stitch the zip in place, again lining up the zipper foot along the teeth of the zip. And you should now have another 40 by 40 centimeter or 15.5 by 15.5 inch square of fabric with a nicely covered up zip in it like this. Now to make the ruffle. If you weren't able to get a full 4 meter or 4 yard long piece of fabric for the ruffle, start by stitching together your multiple lengths to get a complete 4 meter piece. Then with wrong sides together, fold and press your length of fabric in half. Then fold your length of fabric into a loop and stitch the 2 shorter raw ends together. Change the stitch length of your machine to the longest possible setting and sew 2 rows of gathering stitches along the raw edge of your folded fabric. Then gather the fabric by gently pulling on the threads until your fabric loop measures the same as the outside edge of the cushion squares. With right sides together, sandwich the ruffle between the 2 fabric squares by lining up the raw edges and pinning the 3 layers of fabric together. Next, stitch around the entire edge like this, making sure that your zip is open slightly to be able to turn your cushion cover right side out once it's done. And your lovely ruffled cushion cover is complete. Simply squeeze your cushion insert into the zipper opening, and you now have yourself an adorable ruffled cushion with a nicely hidden zipper opening in the back. Lastly, let me show you how to make an adorable waist apron. For this project, you'll need a main and contrasting fabric. Start by cutting out a 75 by 50 centimeter or 29.5 by 20 inch rectangle in your main fabric. Then fold and press each edge in by about 1 centimeter or half an inch twice. stitch all 4 folded edges in place and then give them a good press. Next, cut 2 100 by 10 cm or 40 by 4 inch rectangles and one 22 by 42 cm or 8.5 by 16.5 inch rectangle out of your contrasting fabric. Take the shorter rectangle and press and stitch the top edge in by about 1 cm or half an inch twice. This will be the pocket for the apron. Then fold and press the remaining raw edges. Place the pocket onto the front of the apron approximately 10 cm or 4 inches from the bottom edge of the apron. Stitch the pocket in place, leaving the top edge of the pocket open. For extra strength, sew a triangle at the top of the pocket like this. Next, take the longer rectangles and fold and press the shorter edges in by 1 cm or half an inch, and then press the rectangles in half lengthways. Unfold the rectangle and then press the edges to the center crease of the rectangle. And then fold it in half once more. Stitch all of the folded edges in place. These will be the apron ties. Next, pin the ties to the back of the apron and then stitch them to the apron in a kind of square shape like this. And your super cute waist apron is complete. I hope you enjoyed this video and that it's given you some new ideas of some sewing projects to try. If you do have a go at any of the projects I've shared in this video, then I would love to see them, so be sure to tag me at Rosery Apparel when you share your photos on Instagram. And if you did enjoy the video, I would love it if you could give it a like and subscribe to this channel for more sewing type videos like this one. Have a lovely day and thanks for watching!